Okay, so here we go. Today we've got a special one for you set up. So you guys you're officially builders. You're in the affiliate builder circle. So welcome, builders. Today I'm going to talk about personal brand. This is something that a handful of people have asked me for. So I know there's some big demand for it, and I've built up probably three or four personal brands. And I would say the last two that I built up, I really focused on and researched like crazy and was pretty successful with them. So let me gulp some coffee and I will share my screen and we will get right into it. So, welcome to Personal Brand 101. We're going to go over a lot of material really quickly for this video. So, let's jump right into it. Personal branding is important because it's one of the ways that you can set yourself apart from anybody else, especially if you're doing organic marketing and you're not paying to get in front of people's eyes. You want to, there's pros and cons with everything, right? So you're going to get in front of less people because you're not paying for the viewership. But the people who resonate with you and grow to like you are going to stick around, and they're going to be a warmer audience, and you'll make more sales from them if you're monetizing your content in your page or your social media or your website or wherever you might be. So the personal brand is very important. Let's just get into it and we'll discuss it as we go. Healthy personal brand tells a complex story in a few simple communications. Again, you're getting your first impression. People are seeing what your energy is like, what your voice is like, what your opinions are like. They get whether you're confident or desperate or egotistical, if you're funny, or if you're kind of a sourpuss. So it's all of these things you're giving into your brand. The biggest thing about a personal brand is this word right here. It's personal. So you're adding in your personality to your brand. If you think about big brands like Nike or um, Domino's or something like that, there isn't, they might have an attitude about them, but there isn't something personal about them. Now, if I wear Adidas all the time, that's part of my personal brand. If people see me in Nike, they're going to be like, what's this dude? I'm wearing like a Warriors hat or a Raiders hat. That's part of my personal brand. Because if you see me on the street, most likely you're going to see me in a New Era ball cap and some sunshades and some Adidas. That's part of my personal brand. So the personal brand is your personality, your talents. It's who you are. It's what you do for people. It's your expertise. It's your weaknesses and your faults and your vulnerabilities. It's your credibility. It's your trustability. It's your initiative. It's your work ethic. So this is what all comes across in your personal brand. So, one of the first things that we choose in our personal brand is our niche. If you're going to be a coach or a consultant, if you're going to be an affiliate marketer, if you're going to be a salesperson for health and fitness, or if you're going to be in the weight loss industry or in the pets industry. So, your niche is very important as well. And I always say you don't have to be an expert in your niche by any means, but it's great to have experience and authenticity about that niche. So it's always better, like if you're an author, it's better, you're going to have more quality material if you write about things you know. And it's the same thing if you're trying to monetize social media and become a coach. You should be coaching things you know about and you have some experience with. So know your niche and have some experience with it. Defining your target audience is very important as well, because you want to know who you're speaking to. Nowadays, the big trend that I see a lot of coaches gear people towards is know your audience. Like they say, like pick your avatar is the big kind of buzzword around this now. And you're speaking to your avatar. And there's a lot of mastermind workshops or whatever that have people describing their avatar, male or female, age range, maybe geographic location. And like some of them get incredibly detailed down to like they own a couple of iguanas and they shop at Whole Foods, and like it gets very, very specific what kind of car they drive. And none of this actually helps your audience a whole lot. Some audiences are more geared towards a female perspective or a male perspective, but I even shy away from marketing specifically to males or females. However, that said, my main demographic when I was doing performance coaching was a female audience, and it was more like the main sales that I made were ages like 30 to 60. So it was kind of like a middle-aged, upper middle-aged female audience. So know your audience in that regard. The physical characteristics, again, aren't as important. What you want to know is their feelings. Like, what are they desiring? What do they want? If you're trying to sell like an old beat up Datsun to somebody who's in the market for a BMW, you don't know what their desires are. And if they don't need or want, your Datsun that's been in wrecks and doesn't run at the moment, needs a little fixer up, you're wasting your energy and you're wasting their time. So desires, know what they want or have an idea of what they need, even if they don't know that they need it. Also, their struggles are probably the more important aspect of that. Is know what their struggles are, know what their pains are, know what their problems are, know what community they're in, know how to connect with those type of people that have those pains. Because ultimately, if you're selling, you want to have the solution to a particular pain that they're dealing with. So maybe they're driving an old beat up piece of crap car and they're in the market for a BMW, and you just happen to know where they can get a great BMW. That's more important when you're defining your target audience. Don't be thinking like it's a 24-year-old college graduate who is in the job market and also wants to own a small Chihuahua and have, 5 meals out a week. And it's got nothing to do with that. Know what they're struggling with. Know what they are really wanting in their life. And if your product or your service can get them that or solve that issue, then that's your target audience. Positioning is imperative. Positioning is what your reputation in your online arena looks like. It's somebody who's been with you for a small time, even like could be a couple of weeks, but just read a bit of your content and has a good feel for who you are. It's what they would say about you to somebody else. It's like, this person's flaky, or this person's inconsistent, or this person is full of it, or this person's incredible and they're funny and they're like always there and they're putting their energy into it and the material is unbelievable. So this is what positioning is. Positioning comes from your content. So you want to get really good at your content, and especially as an organic marketer, you want to, but even if you're paying for ads and you're being out there in front of people, you want to be showing who you are, what your authority is, what your credibility is, what your trustability is. So this list here is very good. Who you are, what you want to accomplish, how you're seen, what you're known for, what your reputation and your image, what drives you, what makes you unique. You can answer all of those questions as you're developing your personal brand. And you don't have to come out and say, what I'm known for is. You want to just put that content out there and let other people say, this person's incredible. If you want to find somebody that knows how to organically market using a Facebook profile and a private group, this person is it. This is where you want to go. So you don't have to toot your own horn. You can create your content in a way that others will be your mouthpiece for you, right? So getting good at content is important for your positioning. It's also really important to put your personality into your content. Now, this doesn't mean, a lot of people don't want to jump on and do like those stupid like dance challenges and trends that are all over TikTok. And like, to me, I hate doing stuff like that. It's not my personality. I don't mind doing little dance party in the kitchen. And if that makes its way to Facebook, so be it. But I don't like doing all these trending like dance things that the 12-year-old girls are doing or whatever. That's not my style. So but your personality, your look, your style, the colors that you like, the colors of your brand, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Your content has to be congruent. All your content, again, it's where your credibility and your authority come from. Being clear with what you want to say, because the big saying is confused people don't buy. You don't make sales from confused people. If they don't understand you, or they don't understand what they're going to get, or you seem wishy-washy or whatever, you're going to struggle. So that clarity, you're showing your creativity in your content and in your personality. Your focus is very important as well. Like how much your reality over perception is. And what I mean when I say that is my reality is a specific way, but I can perceive it. I can show it so that it's perceived in a totally different way. And this is the downfall of a lot of social media, is you can make things seem very incredible in your life. I can go stand by the rich guy's car downtown and make it look like it's my car, but it's BS. And people will, over time, people will like see through that. It's a facade, and it comes across very deceptive and like inauthentic, and that's what you want to avoid. So it's very important to show your reality. People will follow you because they appreciate the journey you're on. And if you show the difficult moments and the little struggles or challenges, and you overcome them, and then you're like, thank goodness last week was so difficult. but I had to shovel snow and I threw my back out and I had back spasms and literally was on the floor crying because my back wouldn't release, even though I was laying on a lacrosse ball, and had to go to my chiropractor and like, uh, but this week, like I'm back into my workout and I'm feeling good. People appreciate hearing that type of stuff. So be real about your down moments. Be real about your faults. Like people don't stick with and like, and they don't really trust, even if it's just on an unconscious level. People don't trust people who everything is perfect in their life all the time. It's okay to be authentic and it's okay to have faults. It's okay to be a little bit vulnerable. You probably don't want to harp on it all the time because people also don't like negative Nancy's or negative Normans, whoever it might be. But it's okay to be real. So also, like your personality, something that's very motivating for people is to evaluate where you're at and improve. And of course, you'll hear about this KLT. This is another thing people get from your content with your authority and your credibility is know, like, and trust. Know, like, and trust, which is important. You want your audience to get to know you. The ones that stick around, they'll be the ones that like you, and the ones that buy from you are the ones that have grown to trust you. So your content is very important. Going along with this, with your personal brand, you want to understand your strengths. You want to understand where you've excelled. You want to think about your talents, know what your strong foundation is, and you want to talk about those because those are selling points. If I'm a mindset coach or I have some skill with copy, that's something that if somebody's buying from me, I can help them with, and it adds a lot of value. But they can also see that and they get some value because I have a little bit of experience or maybe even some expertise in some of those things. Again, it's also just as important to understand what your weaknesses are. You don't want to sell people on your weaknesses, meaning like if I can't put a straight sentence together that makes sense, I don't want to tell somebody, yeah, go ahead and buy this. I'll help you with your copy. It's going to be a freaking train wreck. So you want to know what your weaknesses are, and you want to talk about your weaknesses too, because over time, people will see you improving upon those weaknesses if you're working on yourself, and it strengthens your personal brand. This is talking a little bit about improving upon your strengths and how to improve upon your weaknesses. I already kind of went over the bulk of that. When you're coming up with your personal brand, when you're writing it down, and what I literally suggest, you can watch this video again, go down and answer all those questions, make a list, a worksheet, kind of like a template. And if I get around to it, I'll make a template for this and put it here where it's downloadable. This is like one of the 6 recognized personality types. There's basically these 6 voices that you hear about with personal brands. So you can choose a combination of these or pick one specifically that you're going to be working as. You can see if you can figure out which one of these I am. So the altruist, highly recognized for their commitment to helping others. The boomerangs, who are really provocative and they create a lot of discord. These are the people who talk about like religion and politics or specific politicians, or they talk about, they're very controversial and they're very like, they kind of thrive on controversy. If you want to make a lot of sales, I don't suggest to be one of those people, but the crowd that sticks with you, yeah, half the crowd that sticks with you is just going to want to argue with you, and the other half will be in agreement with you. But to me, that's not the right kind of rapport, but that's because I'm not one of those people either. So the careerist is another one who's very much just motivated by their advancement of their business and their career. They're very professionally minded. The connector is somebody who brings people together. So they've got a great job at, or a great skill rather, of creating networks and communities and, building friendships between people or putting work collaborations together. Hipsters is another voice that are like the real progressive people. These are the ones that like jump into AI right off the bat or start changing the paradigm of how things are done. They're always constantly just pushing the envelope and creating something new. And selectives are more like the ones I will say I was a selective where I was very picky with who was in my Facebook profile. And like the only people in my Facebook profile were people that I'd actually shaken hands with or hugged. I had like 200 friends and hadn't added anybody new for a few years. And was very careful with who I shared stuff about and all this type of stuff. So that's kind of what a selective is. Again, you can be selective and still monetize, but there's definite limitations to it. So it's better to pick one of the other voices. You can do a combination of voices as well. So the selectives can pick one of the other voices and let it be like 80% of the time, and then be selective with what you share. Different things like that. So that's how it works. Again, the most important thing is stay authentic. Don't try to create a character that you're playing when you're on social media, because it is not authentic. And if you're like me, I start seeing somebody who's a little over the top or a little bit incongruent with who they are online, and I go like next, like I'm over it. I don't even want to hear, even if what they're talking about is interesting, I don't want to hear about it from them. Like when you're doing organic marketing, most important thing is to stay authentic. Be your genuine self. So you don't really choose one of these personality types. You kind of are one of these voices. And then you can take, like if you're an altruist, you can say, okay, so my big commitment is to helping others. That'll help you clarify your personality, and you can choose how you want to build that in an authentic way into your personal brand. Another thing about your personal brand is your business name. I have Matthew Small Consulting, like that's the first business name. I'm using Affiliate Builders Circle is a business name. So people know what they're getting with me. They're getting me consulting, or they're getting an affiliate builders circle that gives them an idea of what the brand is about. My courses that I'm creating, Affiliate Ultra, is going to be like, you get an idea with that. It's like the next step up. So that gives you an idea. You can be witty, but you want it to be meaningful. You want it to be somewhat descriptive. You want, when people hear about it and they link you to it, that it matches you. That it's on brand is what they call that. Staying on brand. They don't want to hear, like, if you're professionally minded and you've got an inappropriately named business, that kind of incongruence goes against the personal brand. Same thing with your slogan. If you have a slogan, you don't have to have any of this. You can just name your business your name, like Matthew Small Consulting. If you have a slogan like "Go get 'em," you want it to be congruent with your brand. It's got to be on brand. So your slogan's got to be your personality coming out in your business. It's what your business is doing, what you stand for, your views, your ethos, which is like your point of views and your opinions and what you're about. Any slogan that you come up with has to be in line with that or on brand. Your logo, same thing. If my logo is a dude in a business suit and a tie carrying a briefcase and giving a thumbs up, it's not going to be congruent with who I am. I'm New Era hats and hoodies. I'm t-shirts and Adidas shorts and Adidas shoes. I'm outdoorsy. I'm sporty. I'm kind of nerdy. Like, it's rare I'm in a business suit. I think I'd have to go buy one actually. So my logo can't be something that I'm not. It's got to reflect the business name, my personality, all of those types of things. That being said, you want your colors to be congruent, the font, you want to think about all these things, what your graphics are, the shape of your logo. You can see my logo for the Affiliate Builder Circle, right? It's very simple, ABC, Affiliate Builder Circle. But down the road, when people see that, it's gonna bring up all those feelings that you get after you've gotten to know me, right? You're either gonna like seeing that logo because you up here, like and trust me, or you're gonna click away from it because you think I'm a dirty, rotten bastard who's full of hot air. So one or the other. And both of those are great. That's what having a personal brand is all about. Is the personal brand is a way that you filter people into your community and away from your community. I want to turn people off just as much as I want to draw people in, because I don't want to do business. I'm a coach and a consultant, which means I spend time with my people, and I only want to spend time with people that I like, that I enjoy being around. There's nothing more miserable than having to do business with somebody because you talked them into making a sale, and then you have to spend time with them, and they're a pain in the ass, and you don't like them, and they're miserable to be around. My personal brand is all about turning those people away and drawing in my tribe of people who I want to spend time with. I'd rather do half the business and have a ton of fun doing it and make some great friendships and enjoy being on calls and hanging out with the people that I love, rather than doing 10 times the amount of business and being miserable because I don't like those guys. So think about that too. Like, the more of your personality you put out there, if you cuss, say shit, say damn, drop F-bombs. It doesn't matter, because the people who enjoy you and the people who stick around are going to be the ones that you're going to love to do business with, because they're going to be your group. You don't want to be all professional and be in your business suit and be giving a fake character in your personal brand, and then get on a call and start dropping F-bombs and being your true personality and shocking the shit out of the person across from you, and them being all offended and like not wanting to do business with you and it being miserable, or them asking for a refund and stuff like that. You don't want that to happen. So You want people to know who you are. The ones that stick around will be the ones who like you, and the ones that purchase from you will have liked you enough that they grow to trust you. That's everything that a personal brand is about.